Lights on, game time, let's break it all down. From the spreads to the lines, who's up, who's down. We're crunching the numbers, calling the plays, talking all sports in a big time way.
Welcome back to Spreadsheets Sports.
Yeah.
It is Wild Card Weekend. I couldn't wait to do this video. I had to do a lot of research. It's going to be a very interesting slate this weekend. Some possible upsets. I'll let you guys know at the very end of the video when I run down the entire slate who I think is a possible for a win. I got to be honest, though, it's some really, really tight matchups, some competitive matchups. I think we're going to have ourselves a very interesting weekend, and it's going to be exciting, entertaining, all of the above. But anyway, for those that are here for the first time, welcome to Spreadsheets Sports. For those that are here for the second, third, or more than that time, man, God bless your heart. Thank you so much for showing back up again. I hope all of you guys like the content that I prepared for you today. I put together something that I think is really comprehensive. I put the show together in a way where it's like a storyline. Because if you watch professional sports, and not even professional sports, even college as well, a little bit, but mainly in professional, there seems to be a script. However, the script most of the time follows what should happen based off of the reality of the matchup. So that's why Spreadsheet Sports really exist and do as well as we do. Mainly because we're allowing the data to tell us what's really going on versus our gut. We do use our gut, but it has to be matched with the data. It has to make sense. And you guys, you're going to see how I unfold and I look at things under the microscope. Like anybody that's new, just know that we're going to look at all the angles and just think about it from a real common sense perspective. Our magic formula is really all about trying to find the activity that is going to happen regardless of who wins or who loses. What's the most common sense thing that's highly probable at a good price, and put that together. If you find one thing, great. If you find more than one, try to keep it to 2 or 3 per game. Round robin it, cash out, come back the next day with some more. Like, keep this thing really, really, really simple. And this weekend, you got to be really conservative as well because you just really don't know where things are going. We got some bad weather for a couple of games as well. So it's a lot of variables. You got injuries that you may not know about as well. That's going to dictate how things are going to go. So anyway, let's jump into the show. Hope you guys like the content that I prepared today. And if you do, please like, comment, share, or subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can see whenever I do post my videos. They can be very sporadic in regards to the time frames. Like this one is going to be coming out. If you're watching it right now, you probably saw it this morning whenever it posted. So sometimes it'd be 2 days before the game starts. Sometimes it might be a couple hours before. It just really depends on after the research is done. I'm not going to rush it. So here we go. All right. We're getting ready to jump to the next slide, look at the actual individual games under the microscope. And then after that, I'll tell you what I think in regards to who's going to win all of the games based off of the data and my gut and my own intuition. And then after that, I got 2 bonus bets for you so you can put together a nice round robin or at least have a template for a round robin and add on or take off whatever you don't like. And I get you guys out of here. Let's dive into it. This is the part where you take a pause right now. Hit the pause button. If it's early in the morning, finish your breakfast. Maybe you want some coffee and a J. Put a little nice hot toddy in that. Or if it's not early in the morning, it's mid-afternoon and you're day drinking, Yeah, enjoy. Enjoy. Cheers. Let's have a great day today for Wild Card Weekend. Let's try to crack them, and let's get serious for a second and really look at these games and see what we got. Bills and the Jags. I am very excited to see this matchup. I'm very excited to see this matchup. Weather's not going to be an issue. Um, Wind is a little bit of a problem, so kicking may be a challenge for them on any field goal attempts. And I think it's going to be some field goals in this game. But man, this is going to be a good one to watch right here. Um, Bills. Coming into this, Josh Allen is a little bit on the hurt side. We won't say injured. He has a foot injury that he's been nursing the last couple of days or the last couple of weeks. So let's consider that as well. On the injury list for them, you got Kincaid that's questionable. That could be a problem, but he still has Knox. I'm not a Knox fan. I'm more of a Kincaid person if I had to choose between the two of them. And then as well, you got some problems with the linebackers in the secondary for the Bills. On the other side of the ball, the Jags has really got problems with their secondary and a linebacker that's questionable as well. So Jags coming in, I would say, pretty healthy on the offensive side. Their issues are on the defensive side, and I think that that's going to be okay because they still can produce on the offensive side. And I think that Josh Allen's had enough time to really nurse that foot injury that he has, and it's mobile enough where he can do what he does. Now we know that he's coming in this game wanting to be on some hero ball like Josh Allen does, which leads me to believe that I think that an interception for Josh Allen is a bet that I would be interested in looking at. Over 0.5 interceptions for Josh Allen. I like kicking in this game. I definitely like over 2.5 field goals for this game, for the total game. I definitely like the Bills getting over 16.5 points. And I'm going to take advantage of that only because they're the underdog coming into this game. The Jags are favored and they're home. They're a number 4 team versus a number 5 Bills. And the Jags are winning 88% of their games at home versus the Bills who win 63% of their games on the road. With that in mind, along with Trevor Lawrence being well protected, and Trevor Lawrence right now has an offensive line that's going to win the battle, even though they're not that good, but they're good enough. The offensive line for the Jags is a number 20 offensive line, so there's definitely some cracks there. They just win the battle against the Bills. Now, the Bills only send the blitz 7 to 9 times in the game, so don't look for them to really do a lot of blitzing. But when they do blitz, they do touch the quarterback, which means that Trevor Lawrence is going to get forced out of the pocket and he's going to do a little bit of running. But sometimes Trevor Lawrence will do a lot of running. So over 15 or over 20 yards rushing would be another good prop that I like for this game, just based off of that. On the other side, we know that Josh Allen is going to run. I just don't like the line that they have for him. It's just a high line for Josh Allen for rushing, which leads me to James Cook to do some rushing because I like James Cook. But I like James Cook more so for rushing plus receiving than I do for just rushing. Okay. I like Josh Allen to dump off to him. He'll slip out from doing a quick little block, catch the ball, try to do a screen, or he'll run between the guards. They don't win the battle of the offensive line, but I think that they're going to still try it anyway, and maybe they run outside of the guards instead of between the guard and the center. The Bills are running a nickel 3 high quarter and a 4-3 front, and the Jazz are running a spy 3 and a 4-3 hybrid. So with that 4-3 hybrid, the 3 linebackers kind of sitting behind the 4 D linemen, that's going to help them with their pass rush. They do They do send the blitz. The Jags send the blitz 9 to 11 times in the game. So with that in mind, Josh Allen is going to run, but I just don't know how much he's going to run with that foot. And can he dump off to Knox, and can Knox be his saving grace along with James Cook? I think that they can be. I think Palmer is going to be another person that gets a lot of targets, and Shakir I definitely like also. I would say that I would go with Josh Allen for 225. 230 is the line. I'll take the line at 230. I'll take the line at 230. He'll get to 230 yards. He'll probably get 250 in this game, but I'll take him at 230. It'll probably be 250 and an interception, but we'll get 230 out of him. On the flip side, Trevor Lawrence, he's playing very, very, very good right now. The Jags have been looking really, really, really good. They do take the points when they get in the red zone as well. They kick 1.8 field goals a game, so that's almost 2 field goals a game here and there. On the flip side, the Bills don't do a lot of field goals. They will roll the dice and try to convert a fourth down. I think that's going to come back to bite them if they don't take the points in this game. If they only take 1 field goal, being the favorite team, that means that the books think that they're going to score like 3 touchdowns in the field goal. I don't see that. I really don't see that against this defense. I think that they're going to get an interception, and then Trevor Lawrence is going to convert that to 7. I like them for just on a regular possession to shrink the field, and Trevor Lawrence figured out a way to use Bretton Strange or Parker Washington and do a back shoulder or dump to them in the end zone. I like Bretton Strange probably more than anybody else because I like him right behind the linebackers and to catch the ball on the 1 yard line to turn around and dump it into the end zone. That's just what I see in this game, and that's their bread and butter. Jacoby Myers is also going to be a threat, and he's going to get a lot of action. And he also does well with yards after catch as well, so look for that. And Trevor Lawrence rushing 15 to 20 yards. I wouldn't go any higher than 20. Just for me to be comfortable. But that's what I like in this game. That's what I'm seeing based off of the matchup. I mean, the coaching staff for the Bills do win the matchup against the Jags right now. It's a number 11 coaching staff for the Bills versus a number 23 coaching staff for the Jags. It might even be a close game, and if it's a close game, that's going to come down to penalties, and the Bills win the penalties game. So the discipline will be on the side of the Bills. The star power is on both sides of the ball between Trevor Lawrence and Josh Allen and their supporting cast for receivers and running backs. So 2 star-studded teams that might kind of cancel and mute each other out, which means field goals are more of a probability to be in this game. Both teams shrink the field, but they have to end up settling for a field goal. Jags are up against a Bills that have they allow 54% of the red zone attempts to score, which means the Jags have to go down to the end zone 4 times to score 2 or 3 and take a field goal for the other times, which leads me to believe that taking them for over 23 or over 22 and a half points is feasible. It's just too risky for my blood, but that's something else that I do see that you may want to take advantage of. But that's pretty much all I got for this game. Let's dive into the next one. I'll tell you who ends up winning at the end of the slate. Jumping into this 49ers and the Eagles. Interesting game, I'll tell you that much. The 49ers have been showing some improvement up until last game, if I'm honest. And they literally have shown a little bit of struggle, if I'm honest about it. Up against the Eagles right now that are steady as she goes. So in this game, you have the matchup of a number 7 49ers versus a number 9 Eagles. This is NFC West versus NFC East. Right now, questionable, you got Pearsall, George Kittle, some linebackers and some cornerbacks right now for the 49ers. On the Eagles side, Alcantara is questionable along with Goddard. That's not good for either team. Like to be almost possibly without Kittle, your tight end, your go-to, Purdy's going to struggle without Kittle. To be without Goddard on the other side, Hurts is going to struggle without Goddard because he can't just get it done with Adams and AJ Brown. So that's going to be challenging. But looking at the game, other than that, I mean, weather is good. That's not an issue. Um, the Eagles do win the battle of the offensive line, so Barkley should have a pretty good game. The 49ers defense does allow 108 yards on the ground, so I can't imagine Barkley not getting at least 70 to 80. I look for him to have a great game. This is wild card. If he haven't been Superman all season, this is the game for him to do it in. And in Barkley, we trust. The Eagles do win 63% of their games on the road, but they don't win as many games as the 49ers do on the road. But again, the 49ers didn't look that good in their last game, even though they were on an upward trajectory prior to the last game. And on top of that, coming into this, the Eagles do win the battle of the line against the 49ers. So that means Purdy might be moving around a little bit, especially with the Eagles blitzing at least 6 to 8 times a game. It's not a lot, but if they blitz 6 to 8 times a game, touching their quarterbacks 37% of the time that they do rush, Purdy's going to have to run a little bit, which means that Purdy rushing might be a good bet to look into also. On the flip side, the Eagles allow 190 yards in the air and 124 yards on the ground. Again, if Kittle is out, which I don't think he's going to be out, I just think that they just have it like as questionable. I can't imagine Kittle not playing in this game. He just came back off an injury. 190 yards in the air for Brock Purdy with everybody, but without Pearsall. Pearsall is another person that Purdy's going to need. Without Pearsall, I think they can get 200. With Pearsall, I think they can get 225 to 250 maybe. On the flip side, the Eagles, I just don't see them passing a lot. I see AJ Brown getting some he's going to be a target. Adams is going to be a target. Goddard, if he plays, I see some dump offs to Barkley as well. Screenshot this, look at this, and use this for your own research as well. But that's what I really see for like player props in this game. I like Purdy for passing yards, 225. It's a stretch. I mean, take 200 and pay the juice if you really don't want to jump off the bridge that way. Pearsall, be mindful that he's questionable right now, even though the books do have a bet for him. McCaffrey, I like for the 43 yards receiving versus rushing. But if you really like rushing, take rushing plus receiving for McCaffrey. The 107 is reasonable. I know he got 57 the last game, but that was the last game. We're going to call last game a mulligan. McCaffrey should have a pretty good game being McCaffrey. Especially with the fact that the Eagles play a 4-quarter 3-4 up front. That 3-4 up front will allow for McCaffrey to get to the second level at least and make somebody maybe miss. Maybe a defensive end goes too far up and misses McCaffrey, or it's a dump off to McCaffrey after a DN takes a beeline to Purdy and he dumps it off to McCaffrey and McCaffrey gets his thing. So 100 plus yards for McCaffrey in this game on rushing plus receiving, but I like receiving better because it's only 43 yards. AJ Brown, 66 yards receiving. I think you got to be an AJ Brown fan to take that. I'm not comfortable taking 66 yards for AJ Brown in this game, even though the weather is good. I just don't know what Jalen Hurts is going to do. It's not AJ Brown. Sometimes AJ Brown does drop the ball, but most of the time he does catch it. But he has to use AJ Brown. But how much of a big target is he going to be? Will the 49ers double team him? I don't think that they will, mainly because they got Remember, they got injuries at the linebacker and the cornerback position. With those two injuries, I love Jalen Hurts to dump off the Goddard if Goddard plays because of the linebacker issues that they got. Jalen Hurts throwing for over 200 yards, 208. I'd take him for 190 or minus or under 230. I don't like Jalen Hurts for passing in this game. I really don't. I think Barkley's going to get it done for them. I mean, I could see Jalen Hurts getting a touchdown as well, quarterback sneak slash tush push. Um, and I'm sorry if I was saying Adams earlier. It's Devontae Smith. Um, but that's what I like with this game. Jawan Jennings, I think, is going to be a target. Again, we don't know what's going to happen with Ricky Pierce, so hopefully he does play. If he plays, it changes things in regard to production for the 49ers. That's what I got for this game for player props and the matchup and just talking about the numbers of it all. But let's dive into the next game and really look at what we got because obviously I'm going to tell you who ends up winning or losing this game in the very end. Moving right along, we got the Chargers versus the Patriots. I'm excited to see this game too. You see how this whole weekend slate is just going to be like must-see TV. I really like this game. Justin Herbert versus Drake May. A lot of people won't give the accolades to Drake May, and that's fine. We're going to only deal with the data. But he's a pretty remarkable quarterback. But Justin Herbert is playing pretty good this season as well. He has an injury with his hand. I mean, overall as a team, the Chargers do have a slight injury concerns. I mean, they have some linebackers out. The secondary personnel has some challenges, and Amarian Hampton is also questionable for the Chargers. On the other side, Butte for the Patriots, which is a wide receiver, he actually is questionable as well. So, I mean, that's what you're walking into for the injuries. The defensive side for the Patriots is rather healthy. So that means that the numbers that we see here for yards allowed is going to be pretty consistent with what they usually do. With the Chargers, they do have some cracks, and that's not good against a Drake May playing at an all-time high right now. The Chargers coming in this game, they are a number 12 team versus the Patriots, where the AI has the Patriots ranked as a number 1 team. The Patriots do win 67% of their games at home versus the Chargers that win 50% of their games on the road. Now, with that being said, both teams are coming into this with their quarterbacks being exposed. So really a question, not the question, but a question to ask yourself is, what does the offensive line breaking down do for both sides of the ball? On the Chargers side, Justin Herbert will run the ball. He will try to extend the ball, and he does have some targets to dump off to save him if he has to do that. On the Patriots side, Drake May has the ability to run, and he runs pretty well as well. And he has some weapons to dump off to as well. Hunter Henry being a huge target for him to dump off to. Ramondre Stevenson is another one to dump off to. Special teams. The Chargers do take more field goals on an average per game than the Patriots do, which may end up working in their favor to keep this really tight because they'll put some points on the board and they don't have any pride to not put the points on the board, but because their defense is going to have some problems against Drake May. They allow 180 yards in the air and 105 yards on the ground, and they are number 4 defense according to AI for the Chargers, right? But the Patriots have done pretty well this season against defenses that were as good, if not better. On the defensive side, the Patriots allow 194 yards and another 102 yards on the ground. So both teams are kind of almost the same in regards to what they're going to allow for production in the air and on the ground. So this may come, in fact, down to who can do better extending the play on the run and also special teams. So the Chargers are going to definitely make it quite competitive, but if they get behind, I'm not sure. If they get behind four, if they get behind 10 points and can't really speed the pace up, then it's going to spell trouble for them for the rest of the game. But if it's just 10 and it lingers around 10, then the Chargers have a chance to come back and win this game if it in fact does come down to that. I'll tell you who ends up winning at the end of this video, but um Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, Lad McConkey are going to probably be the go-tos for Justin Herbert. And on the other side, Hunter Henry, Demario Douglas, and Ramondre Stevenson, I think, are going to be the people who get the production on the Patriots side. The Chargers have a better coaching staff. They have a number 7 coaching staff to a number 16 Patriot staff. Vrabel is doing pretty good with developing his team, and they're putting together a pretty solid package. But that's just the ranking in regards to like wins, rings, experience in the league, all of the above. So that's just what they are dealing with in regards to the chess match. Hunter Henry, I will take for over 225 yards passing. I'm not going to go gung-ho with him with this being wild card weekend because I do see them sending the blitz a little bit on top of the defensive line winning the battle against the Patriots. I see them sending the blitz, but even with the pocket collapsing, I see Drake May stepping out, doing what he do, running, being very calculated, finding somebody that's open or going to get the first down. That's just what he does consistently. Herbert does that, but not consistently. It's like 70% of the time Herbert is successful in doing that. So that's what I see in this game in regards to props. Points for this game, I definitely like going with the Patriots for no, you know what? Let's go with the Chargers for over 13.5 points. Chargers over 13.5 points is a pretty good bet. And take the Chargers kicker for over 6 kicking points. Those are two prop bets as well that I like in addition to the other ones that you see here. Take a screenshot of this and use this for your own research, but that's what I got with this game. So for our last game on the slate, we got the Texans versus the Steelers. Another great game. The thing that I think is the most distinction about this game is that I think it's going to be a really good defensive game. With that being said, off the top, I'm going to tell you now, I love field goals in this game. I love over 2.5 field goals. I would take over 3.5 field goals in this game just because of the defenses coming into this. However, there are some injuries that both teams are dealing with right now. The Texans are looking at some problems with their D-line and secondary, which is going to be a challenge for them. We're trying to keep Aaron Rodgers down to a minimum. And Aaron Rodgers has Metcalf back. He's been gone for 2 games, and Metcalf is going to be a super target for Aaron Rodgers. Just know that coming in this game. Can the Texans stop Metcalf or slow him down? But if you double team him, what does that leave Aaron Rodgers with? I would say it leaves him with enough, but not a lot. The weapons are very limited on that side. I mean, the Steelers are going to probably rely heavy on Kenneth Gainwell for if they can find any life between the guards. And if they do, they'll keep pushing him through there. If they don't, then they're going to try the screen passes with Gainwell. And he does pretty well with screens and can get, a first down or at least 8 to 20 yards off of a screen. So that's going to be something that I think we see a lot of. So you could take Gainwell for receiving yards, or you could take him for rushing plus receiving yards. And I think that's a really good play for you to have. CJ Stroud is going to be healthy. He looks good. He does run a little bit if he needs to. He's coming up and he's developing pretty well as a quarterback in the NFL. You do have a number 10 Houston Texans versus a number 13 Steelers. Weather is going to be fine. That's not going to be a factor. The Texans come in winning this, they don't win the battle of at home or versus on the road. Both of them are actually tied at 63%. So that's another reason between it being a highly defensive game and both teams are the same in regards to how much they win at home and on the road, leads me to believe that we're going to see a low scoring dogfight, field goal heavy. If anybody has some breakout plays, no, you know what? The Steelers can have a breakout play if Metcalf gets open. He's a huge target. And the Texans can have some breakout plays as well with Hutchinson and Nico Collins. Mainly Nico Collins might have a great game. So they both have the ability to have some breakout plays, but I think for the most part it's gonna be a lot of defense. You're gonna see the Steelers sending the blitz a lot to CJ Stroud, trying to put their hands on him. They blitz anywhere from 10 to 12 times a game. Mike Tomlin is going to get it done in regards to toughening his guys up, and they're at home. They're on a playoff run, and they're coming off of like a 4-leaf clover of their ass on this last game on the missed field goal to win. I think that they really are buying into the whole thing of that we're supposed to be here and we're supposed to make this run. And Aaron Rodgers is like, yeah, this is my last run, and I think I'm retired. You might see an amazing effort by Aaron Rodgers in this game just because of the circumstances of this game. It's going to be a really good game to watch. I think CJ Stroud still sees some action in regards to putting the ball in the air. I'll take him for 225. I'm not taking him for the 235, or either I would take him under 250 against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And they're on the road. Screenshot this because the touchdowns this here: Metcalf, Freiermuth, Gainwell, Nico Collins, and Gainwell is another one that I really, really like for Aaron Rodgers to use for some dump offs throughout the game, and he's been showing consistency over the last couple of games. Aaron Rodgers threw it to him, and Freiermuth got 51 yards last game. I wouldn't take him for 51 again, but I'll take him for 30. I'll definitely take Pat Freiermuth for 30 in this game. I think that's a really good bet as well. So on top of the field goal bets and the screens and the props that I just mentioned, I also like team points a little bit in this game, but I would go with the Steelers for over 13 points. I see them getting at least 13. That's a touchdown and a field goal, right? That's 10. And they either get another field goal in the third quarter and another field goal in the fourth quarter, or they get another touchdown. And that's the 14. So I definitely like them for over 13 and a half and pay the juice and add all of that other stuff together to get it back above plus cheese. But that's what I see in this game. I mean, you got the Texans allowing 180 yards in the air and 94 yards on the ground. And the Steelers are allowing 244 yards in the air and 113 in the ground. That 244 in the air may come back to haunt him, and Nico Collins may have a great day if CJ Stroud can find his way around extending the play and find him open, which he does consistently. So that very well may happen. But that's what I got for this game in regards to props. Let's dive into the whole slate and let's see who we think is going to win or lose. And then we'll give you the bonus bets and get you guys out of here. All right, guys, here is the slate. Here is what I think for the slate and who's going to win. It's a tough one, if I'm honest, because like I I'm gonna have fun with my selection in this because this is a tough slate. This is a really tough slate to call. Rams and the Panthers. I like the Panthers to keep it tight, and I think the rain may in fact make it favorable for them to pull an upset off if they can convert off of a turnover because the ball is wet and they get the ball and they can get Ricky Dowdle to control the clock and Chuba Hubbard to control the clock, and Bryce Young don't make no mistakes, and he uses feet to get first downs, they have a good chance to keep this close, and maybe luck can be on their side, and they could possibly pull an upset. I like the Panthers in this game for some crazy reason. I like the Panthers in this game. Only thing is that the Rams win at the offensive line. The data says to go with the Rams. We're gonna stick with the Rams. Packers and the Bears. Data says that the Packers are gonna win this game. I'm going with the Bears. The data says that the Packers have a actually the data says that the Packers have a 41% chance of winning versus the Bears at a 59% chance. But the data says that the Packers are going to win. I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to go with. I'm going with the Bears. Clutch game. Bears lost the last game. This is the one that they win and they move on. Because I still think the Bears end up in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Bills and the Jags. For the Bills and the Jags, data says that I should go with the Jags. I'm going to go with the Jags. I'm going to go with the Jags. Um, Hard though. It's tough to go against the Bills, but they on the road. The Jags is playing very, very well right now, and they're not in a cold weather scenario. It's 65 degrees and the weather's fine. Josh Allen has a possible foot injury. He's going to give an interception. The Jags can convert off that interception and get 7, or even if they get 3, it still helps them out with getting production. They stay in this game, and I still remember the game with Trevor Lawrence against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it was week 3 or week 4 where he dropped the ball on the end zone and like on the 3-yard line. He falls down, he gets back up, and then he fumbles and bumbles and dives into the end zone for the touchdown to win the game. We might see some magic like that from Trevor Lawrence this weekend. A lot of running. He might be a wild man this weekend. I'm going with the Jags to win this game. 49ers versus the Eagles. That performance out of the 49ers got me real shaky with them right now because they just didn't look really good. They didn't look as good as they had been on their trajectory before that game. The last 4 to 5 games before that, they were looking real good, and then all of a sudden they hit a brick wall. So I'm hoping that was a mulligan and that they come to play. But even with them coming to play, Brock Purdy, McCaffrey, and the whole cast, and George Kittle possibly being questionable. But even if Kittle does play, I think it's a tight game until the very end. But then there's Saquon Barkley possibly having a breakout game at home, wild card, Jalen Hurts tush push, AJ Brown. Oh man, Goder if he plays. I know he's questionable right now, but I end up going with the Eagles for this game. Tight game all the way to the very end. Field goals definitely are something to look at for this game. Chargers and the Patriots. I'm gonna go with the Patriots. Now I don't gotta think twice about it. Texans and the Steelers. All the way dogfight to the very end. I think injuries are going to play a major role in this. The data says that the Texans are going to win this game. And I think I'm going to go with the Texans to win this game. I think that the Steelers are going to put up a really good front. But I think C.J. Stroud is going to keep them in the game, make some big plays here and there to Nico Collins to advance for first downs and big plays and or touchdowns. And maybe it's 24-21 and it's tied at 21 all the way through the third quarter, and then it's a field goal to win by the Texans and they win. Something like that maybe. I don't know, but it's going to be a really, really tight game. But that's what I got for you guys in regards to what I think versus what the data says. And you can screenshot this right here to do your own research. As you see, the weather is on the left. The time is right here. You also got C or CD, which stands for conference or division games. You have the Moneyline odds right here. You also have the team points, and you also have the ranking of all the teams together. And then you have something called LMBTL, which stands for who wins the battle at the offensive line. Y is yes, N is no, and then SKING is a point system for injuries. And then next to that is the win-loss ratio of on the road or at home. So that's what you have in regards to these games and the slate and how it actually lays out. We'll see what it is, man. But like I said, it's going to definitely be a super interesting slate this weekend to watch. All right, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, that brings us to the end of the show. I hope you guys found some value today in the show and I was able to help you with your research so you can see what you like for yourself. We should have a pretty interesting weekend. It should be packed with entertainment, production, excitement, money, all of the above. It should be all of that. Fun packed weekend. You also got hockey this weekend. You also got college basketball. You got NBA. I got some round robins that has a little bit of everything mixed all up in there, and I'm super excited to see how things are going to unfold and what fortunes will come to me from the universe. Just got to like bring it all in and bring it all in. It's coming. It's going to be so much that there's not enough room for it. But anyway, I hope you guys found value in today's show. If you did, please like, comment, share, or subscribe. You can find me on X. You can also find me on Facebook. You can find me on IG as well. I will be expanding to TikTok here pretty soon, and Threads and Shorts. But for now, that's where you can find me. Obviously, I'm on YouTube here where you're watching me now. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for your time. I know I kind of ran over a little bit, but I was trying to keep it short and neat. I promise that I'm going to do some other videos before the other games cut out, and so I can cut things down and edit it a little bit so that it'll be in bite size versus this very long video. But you guys know how I am. Skip to the parts that you like. Screenshot what you like. You don't always gotta. I'm not here for you to listen to me talk. But for those that do want to hear me talk about the games, I'm here for that as well. So long as everybody can get what they want, I'm good. I get what I want because I get to talk about the games, and I actually play my own videos to listen to myself talk about the bets so that I can make my tickets based off of what I'm thinking when I'm in this mode of doing my commentating mode. But anyway, check out these two videos here, and happy hunting, and thank you for coming to Spreadsheets Sports.
Let's break it all down. From the spreads to the lines, who's up, who's down. We're crunching the numbers, calling the plays, talking all sports in a big